Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Doby, and today, I am here with the absolute icon, one of my heroes for multiple reasons, Fredro Starr. This brother right here made a difference in my life. I got to say it. I said it off air. I'm going to say it right now so everybody
Right.
can know that, this is one of my 9 years ago, almost to the day. This is one of my first major interviews that I did. Fredro was very patient, gracious. I was scared to death. I'm like, I'm getting ready to talk to the legend, and how am I going to handle it? He helped me through the interview, gave me the success of that interview, and his patience gave me the courage to continue to be a journalist. And here I am, almost 9 years to the day, and I get to actually chop it up with him this time face to face about his brand new show on Impact Network called Behind the Grind. Nobody better that I could think of to host that show. Welcome and thank you again for everything.
Thank you, man. Thank you for serving the country. You know what I'm saying? Definitely holding it down for the USA. You told me you was doing, some things over in Afghanistan. So thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Man, all right, brand new talk show. Look, everybody knows the history. 93 it started. 93, you beat Dr. Dre out for best rap album, beat the Chronic out. You know what I mean? Made a major impact as soon as you stepped on the scene. Discovered by Jam Master Jay, rest in peace to the legend, to the God. And here you are now using your experience and your knowledge of the industry to interview some of the icons and legends of the game. Started off with Sticky Fingaz, went on, talked to Peter Gunz, Benzino. You're on Impact Network Super Saturdays. It's exciting to watch your interview technique, man. Talk to me about the journey to this point.
Well, like you said, man, it's been a journey. Started very young in the game. Just had a love for hip hop culture. Seeing guys like L Cool J, Slick Rick and EPMD, the guys before us. And then we met Jam Master Jay, like you mentioned. And when we met Jay, took us to Def Jam, first album, sold 5 million records, man. And once we got into the game, kind of slid into the movies and the television. And once I got into that, I saw a different side of just hip hop for just being a rapper. Like now I'm doing TV shows, the Moe show with Brandy, and I'm doing movies with Forrest Whitaker and Spike Lee. So I just fell in love with the acting as far and the music. So now I'm in love with two different things, but both things I'm in love with hip hop and the movies, I've always represented the culture. You know what I'm saying? So 30 years later, Behind the Grind talk show, all that experience that I had being on the movie sets, doing tours and talking to fans and different people. And, now I want to interview, like you said, the icons of the game, the legends of the game. But Behind the Grind, we talking about something totally different than other talk shows and other podcasts or other interview outlets. We're bringing positivity to the game. A lot of stuff you see on the internet or TV shows, it's a lot of clickbait, a lot of, you know, fights and reality TV and all of this to make you watch it. But we want to make you watch this show because of the positive messages that we send in. Because, like you said, Sticky Fingaz, Peter Gunz, Benzino, these guys are hip hop legends, but they get a bad rap sometimes in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So we wanted to bring the positive light to these guys that for doing, a lot of, not positive things. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so
Right.
behind the line, we go deep and we talk about the positive things that other people don't touch on.
I think what I enjoyed most, I watched all 3 episodes. I think what I enjoyed most was your style of, yeah, you didn't shy away from what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And, as you said, the clickbait issues, we won't get into them, but you were able to guide them into a conversation about how they dealt with it, what their fears, how they overcame their fears, and when they woke up and met themselves again,
Right,
what they projected to other people and how they're guiding them through the maze of the
right,
entertainment industry.
right. Because
I love that.
all of these guys, they have long stories in hip hop. They all have, years of putting in the game. So, to try to do an interview in just 1 hour is very hard because they got 30 years of the act business, even 30 years plus. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The OG. So I try to contain it and get the best things the jewels out of the situation, out of the conversation. And those guys, man, those guys, the answers and the things I've learned about them, incredible. A lot of things that you may know about Peter Gunz, when you watch Behind the Ground, you find a totally different character, totally different.
I think that was beautiful. I like you're laid back. First of all, you're a peer. You know what I mean? And so they're not just talking to some media cat. They're talking to somebody who's lived the life. You know what I
Right,
mean? And
right,
gone from the streets to the suites and experienced all that stuff, the fame, the stardom, the groupies, the opportunities to, mess up, you know what
right,
I mean, and correct yourself.
right.
So
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
nobody's perfect. So
Yep.
they're more comfortable and they're just, it's like watching, and this is a compliment because you take it from an interview to a conversation,
Right.
which is much more valuable to the viewer. And so I love your interview technique. How did you get so relaxed in bringing
Um,
conversation to the screen?
I did a lot of research, and one guy that I got to salute is Montel Williams. I looked at his style and the way he came at the game. I mean, we all watched Montel for years on television, and
Definitely.
he seems like a very militant, no nonsense guy. He gets to the point, but he's still relaxed and he comes across genuine. You know what I'm saying? So I look at guys like that, guys like Arsenio Hall. I
Mm,
mean, Arsenio Hall is the G of this. Like he's the godfather of this. You know what I mean? I remember I actually did Arsenio Hall. I had an interview and like you said, I was so nervous talking to Arsenio, and he just made me feel calm and made me feel relaxed.
mm,
So Peter Gunz, I know Peter Gunz. We smoke cigars sometimes. Him and Shaq and Benzino. That's my guy. Like I've known Benzino for years in the studio sessions with him and Sticky. Of course, that's my partner in Onyx. So it's kind of easy with those guys, because I have a relationship with these guys and they trust me. When I ask them something, they know I'm not trying to pry, just like you said, for clickbait. But what I'm asking them is genuine because they know me. They can relate to me. We're all from the same place.
right.
And that made it run very smooth. Now, I definitely want to be challenged with people that I never met before in my life. And I want them to trust me too. So, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. I started this whole thing for hip hop before I met Jam Master Jay. I worked in a barbershop. And when you work in a barbershop, you have to talk to customers. You might have a lawyer in your chair, you might have a drug dealer, you might have a rapper in your chair, you might have a TV executive in your chair, all in one day, all in 1 hour. Each one of those persons in your chair, they have different ways of talking and different outlooks of life. So you got to be able to kind of like, you know, be a chameleon, like, kind of fit into every situation. And that gave me the blueprint of how to talk to people in life, you
Mm,
know. And that was just like a learning experience working in a barbershop. I wasn't just cutting hair, but I was learning how to communicate with people, different walks of life,
mm.
and that gave me a lot of a lot of instructions.
Okay. And a lot of insight into
Yeah,
different I don't want to say classifications of people, but classifications of different walks of life, people from different
right,
walks of life, and the
right,
things that they're interested in, the things that pique their ears up, and things like that.
right.
And as with our previous interview, I find you to be like an aggressive listener, which is you pick items up from the other person,
Mhm.
and that gives you another avenue to explore what they're talking about.
Right, yeah, because if they say something that, I don't have a thing where I can like mark it down. So I have to remember, oh, he said that. Let me go into that because I thought that was interesting when he said it. And I think the people probably feel the same way if he says something in a conversation that we're having. And if he talks about, like Benzino, he talks about his son rapping. I
Mhm.
think great segue because I think people want to know about Benzino's son. You know what I'm saying? His daughter who raps. So when we get into these little conversations, when he speaks about his daughter, okay, let's dive into that
Mhm.
because daughter have a public relationship that everybody sees online, and it's a relationship. Every father and daughter, nothing is perfect,
Right.
and but Benzino giving it because social media is so big right now, you can't keep nothing private. But I
Right.
think people want to know the real because social media doesn't give you everything. You only get with the clickbait. You only get what's hot.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
They're trying to write the most interesting, lean-inable 140 characters, you know
Right.
what I mean, to send you to the link. Then you can get the rest of the nonsense.
Right.
And then, and this is just for me, the art of journalism, writing a story
Mm,
has deteriorated from getting to the who, what, when, where, why without your opinion,
mm.
discussing the facts and giving it to them real as you know it, with backup, with receipts, as they call it. Now,
Yeah. You're right. You're right. See, guys like you and the hype, you keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you because you've been doing it for a long time and you've always kept it 100. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But a lot of these guys, they're not like you said. They just want to get the clickbait and positive. A lot of positive messages go unheard because it's not entertaining. I want to change that. I want to make positivity entertaining, so it's just not overlooked. You might have an ad, you might have something in the newspaper, something bad happened and something positive happened. Most of the people they want to look at the train wreck. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to know about the guy who just finished college and he's the black guy who's going to school and all honors. They don't want to know about that. They want to know about something bad happened. You know what I mean? I want to change that. And with the Impact Network, a positive network like the Impact, this is the perfect show for that, to bring that positivity. So shout to Steve Marcano and Roy Jackson, the producers of the show. We all came together and say, yo, let's make this happen. We all came together, came with the questions and pinpointed everything. And now we got a great show behind the grind.
yeah, I understand it's a passion project for you. And you kind of answered my next question, which was the why are you doing it? I mean, we're losing so many people. We're concentrating on the negativity, rest in peace, Takeoff, you know what I mean? And all the other brothers that have been,
Mm,
taken from us. Uh, I think one of the things that I drew, especially when when you were talking to Peter Gunz, you
mm-hmm.
know, this is a man who's been through it all as a playboy. You feel me?
Right, right.
And he could address the young guys who are saying, I'm slick. I could put him out there. But I think one of the points that I took was that not only are we as men lowering ourselves, but we're making it almost mandatory for the young ladies to lower themselves to match our energy,
Mm.
and then it's affecting family. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes,
So that
yes,
was one of the key points that you drew out of Peter Gunz. That was
yes.
a great point in the conversation. So
Definitely. The Peter Gunz interview was very, very interesting. He's an icon. Like he's a playboy, but he has a lot of principle. So I think people are gonna definitely check out this next episode. I think it's this next episode coming on. It'll probably be played after we play this already. But yeah, Peter Gunz is a wonderful guy, man. Behind the Grind every Saturday it comes on. With a lot of other shows they're producing on Saturday for the Impact Network. So yeah, it's that whole Saturday you're gonna get a whole bunch of positivity. So make sure you tap in on Saturdays to the Impact Network because Behind the Grind is coming on.
yep.
Sure.
Behind the Grind from Fredro Starr airs every Saturday as part of the Impact Network Super Saturdays, 3 p.m. East Coast. Check your local listings to find out where you're at, but they're also on some of the besides streaming, they're also on some of the major cable carriers. So check them out. It's amazing to have the legend. It's amazing to see the development. Did you ever feel that you would be a show host following the great traditions, like you said, of Arsenio Hall and Montel Williams? Shout out to Montel Williams, a Navy vet, by the way.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
did you ever feel that this would take you that in that lane?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I was during the pandemic, I was doing a podcast called Rappers and Ballers with my guy Johnny Vogel. We talking about sports and stuff like that. So we were doing a lot of interviews and once I started doing a podcast, I was like, yo, this is kind of dope. I like this. But the podcast format and the format we have on Behind the Grind is a little bit different. But that was kind of like the start up of me just interviewing guys and sitting down and getting comfortable on the other side of the table. So yeah, it's definitely on my bucket list. Like I said, Montel Williams, man, I used to love watching that show, the way he was conducting himself. and now I'm in the chair. And I just wanted to say, like you said, rest in peace to Takeoff, and PNB Rock. These guys lost their lives over something so stupid. I mean, it's so crazy that we have to live like this. So hopefully this show will just bring something positive. It's a lot of negativity out there. We need more love. We need more positivity. We need more OGs, older guys, dropping jewels and knowledge to the younger guys so they can be OGs in the game. Because like Jay-Z said, the worst part of getting old is not getting old. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm over 50 now, and I've done the young thing. I've, Onyx, and we did all that crazy stuff. But now it's time to reflect on life and family and principles and success. And that's what behind the grind. That's all we want to just focus on. So hopefully, a kid might be watching it, and just might change his thought pattern because he sees something else in life. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can change the narrative with this show.
It's a dope show. I like Roy Jackson's one of the producers and directors. The show is not so much about what people have made, but what
Right.
they're made of. And
Love that. I love that.
it's an amazing show. I'm thoroughly impressed. I have actually downloaded all 3 episodes. I will be watching every Saturday when I can. If not, I know how to go find it on demand.
Right.
Happy birthday month, hip hop. Appreciate you. Next year is our 50. We got it.
50th anniversary. Yep, 50th anniversary.
50th. Yep.
Hip hop. Salute hip hop, man. Without hip hop, I don't even know where I would be. So I just thank God that hip hop saved my life.
Hey, I'm glad that you're here, brother,
Yes,
because
sir.
you mean a
Sir,
lot
yes.
to the culture. You know what I mean? The hell with the music, the culture of hip hop is more than music. It's about, the bards of the street telling us really what's going on and not glorifying the nonsense, but saying, look, these are the issues of our community that we need to address. And we can't stand idle and let them run over us, which is one of the things I really love about Onyx's music. Yeah, it was fiery, but it was fiery with a purpose and
Yes.
entertaining, and getting another opportunity. I'm 59, so getting another opportunity to speak with you basically on our 9th anniversary of the first interview, you know what I mean, is an honor. It's a pleasure. I want to thank you, brother. I need to ask you 2 questions and I'll
Yes.
let you go.
Yes, sir.
Over the years, you've been interviewed by like everybody, their cat, uncle, and dog. And now that you're an interviewer, a conversationalist on television, is there a question that you think you would ask yourself that maybe journalists over the years have failed to ask you that you've always wanted to answer?
To ask myself, oh man, that's a great question. A lot of journalists ask. I mean, I've been interviewed by a lot of people, but I think the question that never gets asked is, who do you love? Like, who do you love in your life? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a very personal question. And I think if you ask a lot of people that, like, who's your top 5 people that you love in your life?
Mm.
It would probably be hard because I have a lot of people that I love, but my mother is my best friend, and me and my mother have a great relationship, and over the years she's always been my best friend. So I think me and my mother probably have the best relationship. And then Sticky Fingaz, you know, that's my cousin. We grew up as brothers, and we have a family business together. And a lot of family businesses don't last. A lot of businesses don't last, and just because you cousins don't mean that your business is gonna last. But me and Sticky have a special bond. You know what I mean? He's definitely part of my well-being, and with Onyx, and we're always together. So that love we got is will never break. You know what I'm saying? And of course, my wife and my kids. My wife, and I have 3 sons, young sons. And yeah, man, right now I'm just on the father mission every day, just hanging out with my kids and letting them see things and teaching them the way and being a great father, and that's it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I actually sparked another question, but I promised it was only 2, and I'm gonna respect your time.
yeah.
I would like to know, people look at you as a serious dude, constantly. Everything that you portrayed has been serious. You know, Moesha, you had a little fun, but everything else has been real serious. The music, the films, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? And even in the Shakespeare uh uh the movie that you guys did, that everything was rap, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah. Sticky Fingaz directed a movie called A Day in the Life.
yeah,
Um, everybody was rapping in the movie. Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
it was absolutely dope. I want to know, because you have to have a sense of humor to make it in this business, this industry, and stay sane.
Yeah.
Can you share with us one of the funniest WTF moments you've had thus far in your career, without putting anybody on blast, but maybe a situation that just had you rolling?
Oh man, it's so many funny things that I've done in my life, man. I mean, I don't know if it's funny, but I just think one of those moments of my life was when we was just, performing at the Source Awards, and somebody in my crew, Sticky Fingers, decides to pull out a big Desert Eagle and shoot it in the sky. Like I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was happening, and I was actually scared. But it was funny when you look at it. But yeah, that was one of those moments because I didn't know he was gonna do that, and that question always comes up here and there. And yeah, I didn't know Sticky was gonna pull a gun out and shoot, and I I was scared. And when I knew it was Sticky, it became funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, nobody got hurt, nobody got arrested, so it was a ha ha moment, and that was that. And that was that was the Source Awards where all the East Coast and the West Coast beef was kind of stemming, and I think that gun incident kind of like let people know what was going on. Like, yo, we not having it.
Right, right. Oh, that was the night that Suge said what you had to say.
That was the night. Yeah, that was
Okay.
the night. That was a crazy night in hip hop, and I'll never forget that night. And it was just
Mm,
very, very, very crazy. That was a crazy moment.
okay. Was there anything, brother, that you wanted to cover that I may have neglected?
Oh, nah, you know what? I got a new solo album I just dropped. It's a jazz album. I produced it. I'm doing beats. I've been doing beats. I produced Last Days for Onyx and the whole All We Got Is Us album. And I just felt like I just needed to, get something out. So a new album called Jazz, whole bunch of jazz samples. Not since Jazzmatic from Guru. I don't think no hip hop artist has ever just done a whole completely hip hop jazz album. So the
Mm,
new album called Jazz, check it out. It's on all platforms. Just dropped. So yeah, man, check it out.
okay, going to go get that for sure, for sure.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
I want to thank you so much for the honor and the time. It's been a pleasure. Congratulations. Wishing you much continued success. Maybe we could do it in another 9 years, hopefully before then. But
Yeah,
you know what I
let's do
mean?
that. Yeah.
I'd love to do it again. All right, everybody. The one and only. Okay, we covered that in 2013. He said he's not the one and only because other people, other usurpers are out there trying to use that name. But the magnificent, the inimitable Fredro Starr. New show on Super Saturdays on Impact Network called Behind the Grind. He takes you beyond all the darn flash, and they talk about the work, they talk about life, and they turn the negative into the positive and bring that to the light. And
Mhm.
he's bringing on people that are helping to guide, have re-met themselves, became human again, and are trying to help others move forward and learn from their mistakes. So
Right.
it's a beautiful show, amazing hip hop legend guiding the story. He's another teacher in the game, in the culture. We appreciate him. Thank you once again for everything. Thank you for giving me the courage to continue on in this vein, and nothing but respect.
Thank you, my brother. Respect, man. God bless you. You heard? Holla at your boy.
All right.
One.